If you need to scream racial obscenities, now is not the time.
So let me tell you about what really happened in World War II.
Oh man, that is the best thing to ever be the first thing uttered on our live stream.
Probably the worst thing.
Yep. Online, StarCast 123, and save changes. Cool. Thank you, Team Liquid.
Ryan, are you in the beta, or is your website doing anything with the beta right now?
I wish I was in the beta, but I'm not. And yeah, I don't think anyone else in rCraft is in the beta either. If they are, no, yeah, you know what? 2 of them are. But other than when it eventually comes out, we're gonna do a full switch. Not really anything going on with it right now.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah. So don't ask me what I think about the I don't know, Viper balance or whatever. 'Cause I have no
The hot
idea.
topic right now is freaking Widow Mines.
Yeah.
Oh, and the new
anything about
Sentry
Vipers
change,
anymore.
if you saw that, Garrett.
I didn't, so I'll be reacting to that in real time. My favorite way to react to things.
They're talking about making hallucinations free.
Free. Yeah, I saw that.
Because the Sentries really needed a buff.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
just they don't
When
even
I-
do anything.
when I
Pros
think
don't
of
even
a-
use them.
Yeah, like when I think of a unit that just doesn't get enough use or abuse the hell out of every other matchup in the game, I think of the Sentry.
Oh, definitely. I think, Protoss just doesn't cast enough spells. So
No, exactly.
No.
Force
well give
fields
them
don't
one for free.
completely shut down early bioaggression or anything. What are you guys talking about? Asia Finals. I'm just making sure we didn't miss like a last minute balance update. Like David Kim, like just kidding, guys. Real Mind's actually gone now because we're retarded. So, yeah. No emails about using the word retarded, please. I come from that generation. It's amazing enough I have stricken the word gay from my vocabulary.
God, that took some work, didn't
That
it?
really did. It really
That was-
freaking did.
that was a real tough time in high school when suddenly everyone had to stop using that.
Luckily, I was in college by then.
I was in
And
high school.
how old are you?
23.
oh, you're not that much younger than me. You're 2 years younger than me.
Maybe I started early.
I guess all my
just more-
friends were just racist, like homophobic jerks too. Then, I
Yes.
don't know. Not that I was a racist homophobic. jerk.
No, it just had a good gravity to it. It really had nothing to do with the homosexual.
Oh yeah, I
nature
mean,
of
it
the
was
word.
one of those words we started using when we were too stupid to even understand what it truly meant. Obviously, I understood what it meant, but not like the social implications when I was in 2nd grade. And it was like, oh, I have a new word I can call my stupid friends. Oh,
Back
joy.
when you thought all gay men were attracted to all men.
Yes, exactly. And then I realized after going to a couple gay bars in LA that I don't attract gay men.
Well, lucky you.
But my other straight buddy did, and he wasn't happy about it.
I mean, it's flattering.
Just take it as
Yeah.
a compliment and just move
Yeah.
on.
Well, that's what I told him. I was like, well, shit, I'm jealous, dude.
The
Apparently,
problem
I'm
is
just
you,
not...
you
I'm
do
not-
meet some of them that think they can change you. And I mean, that probably goes for, straight guys with straight girls. They're probably like, hey, I can make you like me.
Oh, yeah, I've met a couple lesbians in my life where I'm like, oh, damn it. Why?
I know. I've got a thing for short hair, too, so it happens a lot to me.
Oh, really? Okay. You're generalizing now, Kyle. Way to go.
Yeah, but
Hey, my girlfriend has short hair. She's got a mohawk or faux hawk. So
That's cool.
Nice.
I like short hair. I like long hair, too. I'm really indifferent. Like,
just hair.
I don't care. Like hair. I've seen hot bald chicks. I don't discriminate.
Yeah.
Um,
My girlfriend shaved like a gecko into her head.
that's cool.
Like she shaved like the sides of her head and like had a mohawk that had like feet
what
or whatever.
what kind of music are you guys into? Just out of curiosity.
Most things.
Most things. Okay.
Most things.
The Room? Is that music?
The
The Room. No, that's a movie. It's
Oh.
the worst movie ever made.
So
Like-
what do you? Is it?
Like as in like Saw or Audition kind of The Room? Or what? Like what
No, it's
happens
like
in The Room?
it's like a really bad. Supposed to be like romantic tragedy or something, but like it's just poorly directed and poorly written. And it's widely regarded as the worst movie ever made. So every month in Oakland, they do a midnight showing of it. And I got that poster. I got that poster when the director and star was actually there. And it's really funny. He can barely speak English, but he insists he's, like born and raised in America. And it's
fun.
signed by him and the other lead. So I think it's cool.
So it's an ironic poster.
No, because I legitimately have a good time watching the movie.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because it's hilarious.
I have a good time
screen.
watching movies too, but it's usually an ironic, holy crap, how bad is this movie way?
Well, yeah, that's why I enjoy it, though. Is
Like
that it's so bad, it's really funny.
Like the Dragon Ball movie, the Dragon Ball Z live film that they did here in America. That is one of the most horrendous films I've ever seen, but it is so much fun to watch because it's so bad.
I actually refused to watch that because I really like the director because he did Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer, and I love those movies.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, really? I didn't know that was him.
God, right.
So-
Well, he seriously does deserve to be killed for that movie.
For that movie.
Well, so
See,
does
that's why
M.
I
Night
didn't want to
Shyamalan.
watch it. It's
It's
because
so bad.
Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer are great movies.
Yeah, I really enjoy those films. Huh,
Yeah.
I didn't know he did that. Well,
See,
that's a shame.
I don't particularly care for them, but that's
Oh,
me.
really?
Yeah.
Not a Kung Fu fan.
I don't care for kung fu movies in general. I can't even get into the good ones, like Enter the Dragon and stuff. And then that one where it's purposely just trying to be stupid. I'm just like, this is just dumb.
Oh man, I love that sort of stuff. Naked Gun movies.
Oh, I
and,
love Naked Gun. Just for whatever reason, Kung Fu Hustle is just too stupid for me. It just to
It
me
does
there's
get rather out.
there's Naked Gun airplane level, and then Kung Fu Hustle is 2 notches below that in my book. I'm just like, this is too dumb.
You really wouldn't like Shaolin Soccer then, because it's even more over the top dumb because it's Kung Fu Soccer.
All right, fair enough. I'll just have to live, I guess. I'll have to
Yeah,
continue
Kung Fu
living.
Hustle gets halfway serious halfway through, but Shaolin Soccer's just ridiculous the whole way.
All right, wonderful. For those tuning in, this is still the pre-show. We will start talking about StarCraft very soon. Actually, we should start that. It's 8 o'clock. So you guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Wednesday. Real quick, Kyle, are you able to pre-record an interview at next Wednesday at 6 p.m.? Oh, crap, you have biggest fan.
I do. I might be able to move it around if it's just the interview.
Yeah, I can't imagine it'll be more than 45 minutes.
Okay, is
I
that
hope.
what you were going to announce today on the show?
Yeah, shoot. I'm sorry, dude. I totally spaced and forgot you had biggest fan. This guy's in the Netherlands, so we're trying to accommodate
nice.
him.
Yeah, maybe actually. 6 o'clock though. Wait, your time though? So 7 for me.
No, 5 for you.
Oh, 5 for me. Oh yeah, I can do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then we will announce that. That'll be Hearthstone from the Fnatic Academy.
Sweet.
Let me add that in here real quick so I can make a note of it at the top. Hearthstone Fnatic Academy loud mechanical keyboard.
I got one of those too.
I just got it and I'm still not used to it and my girlfriend hates it. She's just like, you sound like you're angry all the time.
My girlfriend just puts up with it. I don't know, she puts headphones in or something. But
Yeah. Alright guys, well, title card's going up. And if you could mute your mics until I intro, I'd appreciate it. Alright everyone, this is StarCast episode 123 for Thursday, October 11th, going live in 3, 2, 1. StarCast is proudly sponsored by DogHouseSystems.com. If you use the code StarCast or Biscuit at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance, noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code StarCast to get 30% off plus free shipping on your order. And finally, SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Daily quotes from the StarCraft 2 community. The site may suck, but the quotes are sick. And make sure to check out their quote archive with all the quotes from your favorite StarCraft nerds. Sponsor an episode of StarCast at thestarcast.com.
Hell, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Welcome back, everyone, to StarCast, the StarCraft podcast. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, and with me, as always today, is Kyle Ferguson. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great. It's 10, 11, 12 today, and this is episode 123.
Oh snap! If only we had planned it that way.
Well, that'd be pretty hard. I mean, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, sat down, been like,
Yep.
all right, man, we're going to miss 4 shows over the next year just so we can make this happen.
Yep. Oh my God, that's all we've missed.
Yep, 4 shows.
This makes me want to make more, even more fun of Patrick.
Aw, poor guy.
That's right, Patrick. You're a bitch. I don't think that's been announced yet, so we can't even talk about that yet. So all you guys need to know is that Octane Pro is indeed a weenie, and we'll talk about that at a later date. Anyways, joining us today for the first time is a guest. You know, he's joining the show. We're doing a community spotlight today. His name is Ryan, better known to people who know him in the world of StarCraft as Doctor. He is a might as well be a full-time caster. I'm not sure how much he's getting paid for it. It's probably about as much as we get paid for this. But yeah, exactly. Over from rCraftGaming.com. Welcome, Doctor.
Hey, what's up?
Not a whole lot. You know, it's always funny to act like we didn't talk like 2 seconds ago before the intro music started. I love that. I love trying to not break that wall for the radio, but every now and then, like right now, I like to ruin it for our audience.
Well, what we really need is
like
music to
20
come in
minutes.
so we can talk to people while the video is rolling, just like a real late-night TV show.
Oh, yes, and they can't hear us, but they can see us like laughing and
We're like, oh, we're the best. We have so much personality.
they look like they're having so much fun, but I can't hear what they're saying.
We need a band.
I always want to know what like Conan O'Brien whispers in the ear of the lead singer of whatever band performed that night.
Yeah.
So
He gives them keys.
exactly. So hey, Doctor, you've never been on the show before, and
That is true.
yeah. So why don't you start off by telling everyone who you are, what rCraft Gaming is, and how you got started.
All right. Well, my name is Doctor. It's been said a couple times now. I've been casting with rCraft Gaming for almost a year now. A little less than that, a couple months. I don't actually remember when I started. I never wrote down the date. I'm real bad with that kind of stuff. But rCraft Gaming's been around since a little bit after StarCraft 2 came out. Again, don't know the exact date, never asked. But I casted for them once way back in season 1, and I was in bronze, but it was like an emergency, so they let me do it, and it was absolutely horrible because I was in bronze. And then I didn't do it again for almost since until about a year ago, because my computer wasn't good enough. And then I came back. I'm Platinum League now. I've been casting pretty much ever since then, and I kind of got into rCraft right after a mass exodus of everyone who was involved with rCraft Gaming left, except for the main guy who started it, Infested Mr. T, who was our overlord.
Infested Mr. T.
Infested Mr.
All
T,
right,
not just a normal Mr. T.
I already have 2 questions. Is he actually Mr. T, and are you actually a doctor?
Yes and yes. No. No
Damn.
on both of those, actually.
Oh, I'd be so stoked if Mr. T got into StarCraft, because then it would give me an excuse to interview him, and that would make me so happy.
That
He
would be
pities the
awesome.
fool who doesn't build infestors.
Pity's the fool who 6 pools.
There you
That
go.
almost rhymes. We could make that work. But yeah, no. Unlike everyone else, I assume in the StarCraft world, who is what their name is. Like I'd say probably 99% of the people are exactly what their name says.
Yeah, Huck is totally a Huck,
Yeah,
whatever
Huck,
that is.
Huck is a Huck. Idra is an Idra, and Destiny is force to be reckoned with. But
Really? Because then Destiny would be called racist.
true. That what? Racist penis or something like that.
Racist. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
But yeah, so no to both those things. But so then I came in. I was the only caster and only streamer because Infested Mr. T moved or something and couldn't do anything. rCraft had been gone for a couple of months, and then I came back in and just started doing it every day for up to 6 hours a day, because I would just do the second I got home from work, and then I would just cast games until there were no more games to cast, which we don't do anymore. We have a limit of 10 or 15 depending, a night. But that was way too much, and my girlfriend was a little upset because I'd always be doing that for like hours and hours, and then be too tired to do anything else. But now we've got a good team of casters. There's about 6 other casters now, so I do this about 3 nights a week, sometimes more, sometimes less.
Yeah, I was checking out the rCraftGaming website, and they've got a schedule up, and it says who's casting every night, and I saw your name on there quite a bit.
Yeah, it needs to be updated.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think the only other person on there is Alec, and he's actually doing school full-time this semester, so he's not going to be back probably until winter.
Gotcha. How dare your website not be updated to the minute for a free tournament?
Yeah, we're going to have to give everyone their money back or something.
Yeah, exactly. All $0.
Well, we get a little bit of money from ad revenue, but
yeah,
I don't get any of that. The other casters don't get any of that. It's actually going into a pool right now, and once we get 1,000, we're going to host a open/invitational tournament. Hopefully, maybe not huge names, but people who could be persuaded by $1,000 for a night of StarCraft.
You could probably host a pretty decent one with 500, because I know Octane Pro and Buddha over at the Strategist hosted one when they first started the show. I think they had $500 tops, and they got a ton of big players. I know QXC entered, and a couple Fnatic guys, and it was quite impressive who showed up.
Yeah, well, maybe for 1,000 we can get, now probably not like Huck and all those guys, because they're doing, their thing.
Oh yeah, MC will just be like, "Oh, hey, I know I got an OSL match tonight, but I'm thinking I'm going to jump in this $1,000 prize pool and just school some noobs."
Definitely, but we do get a couple of big names once in a while, not huge names, but
right.
Sasquatch plays almost every week, or he did before, Complexity completely took over,
consumed the Squatch.
Yeah, consumed him, but yeah, I think he pimped us out at the end of one of your
episode 119. Sasquatch was on. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he really is, and he's been helping us out a lot just because he's a moderately big name who plays pretty regularly. So
yeah. Now he's an official Complexity member, not just the Complexity Academy. So awesome.
Yeah, and we've got a giant Smurf. I think he's in Complexity Academy too.
Oh, is he?
I could be wrong about that. I don't know, but Scarlet played once. That was awesome.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
that would excite me. I'm a big Scarlet fan.
Yeah, I wasn't casting that night, so I was a little upset that I missed that. But
I was going to ask if that was back in like your bronze casting days.
No.
What does casting by a bronze player even sound like? It's like, well, they're not 6-pooling, so I'm honestly not too sure what to tell you.
Yeah, he's building gateways, so I guess he's probably going to go Immortals. But nothing like that. I actually didn't cast between bronze and gold, so I guess that silver is the only thing between that. But yeah, I picked up casting again when I was gold, and I'm now platinum. And I want to get to diamond, because I feel then I could maybe be taken seriously as a caster. I know a lot of people had trouble when I was gold to be like, oh, this gold guy's casting Masters night. What's this all about?
Well, there's got to be the exchange. I mean, you can't cast for 6 hours a night and still play for 6 hours a night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and go to school and do it all for free.
Yes, and work and doing this.
Yeah, it's such a bizarre expectation. We get the same stuff, because like I'm usually in gold. It's like, how dare you talk about StarCraft and being gold? It's like, seriously?
Yeah,
are you paying for this, dude? Okay, then shut up.
It's that stigma that it's like anyone below diamond just doesn't understand the game, or something like that. But
yeah, exactly.
Well, technically, Destructible Rocksman is only
Dustin Browder?
platinum. So as long as you're platinum, you can talk about StarCraft more than Dustin Browder.
Dustin Browder's only platinum?
Yep.
Huh.
Well,
crazy.
I didn't know that. I just assumed he'd never played, because he just wants to box everywhere. But I guess he has fun doing that.
I do have to say, I like the destructible rocks around his own Naga Tower. I think that's kind of cool. That's one of the more exciting things I've taken away from the Heart of the Swarm beta, because they keep taking away the exciting things.
Yeah, but I don't know. As Zerg, I don't think I'd be too excited about that, because I like getting my Zerglings there. The first 2 I make, go get all the Xel'Naga towers. But yeah. So I want to get to diamond, but the problem I have is really the only time I have to play is after I'm done casting. And then I only have a several-hour window to do that. And after casting now it's generally only 3 to 4 hours. After doing that, going and trying to ladder is ridiculously hard because I still got the caster brain. So I'll just like
You're just trying to look around the map and find a good angle to watch the action.
Yeah, like when I enter a game, I press like Control N and D to bring up the production tab and the nameplate, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that.
Oh, that's
crap. And then I would play team games with my friends after casting, and they get mad at me because I'd just be watching them. And then suddenly I'd notice like, oh, I haven't made drones for 10 minutes, and I'm floating 2,000 minerals. This is great. So,
yeah, I think
I run into that problem a lot.
I think we've been there. I remember, Kyle, I'm not sure if you saw this or not. I remember me and Mork were helping out. Who was this? I think it was Sandman was holding like a Star Strikers tournament, which is like the soccer mod in StarCraft. He's like, hey, are you free? You want to cast this? Because it's actually for money. I was like, I had nothing better to do. So trying to cast a mod of StarCraft and then play afterwards, that was interesting.
Have you ever like seen the mod before, or were you just going in completely
new? I was so green, man. It was ridiculous.
I've tried to do that. I tried to cast League once, and I actually play League of Legends like not a lot, but it's good. I mix up games a lot, and just keep things fresh. And I tried to do that, and I didn't know anything. I still barely know anything about that game, so I'm like, he's getting that item. Looks like he might be building up to one of these several items here that I have no idea what they do. So it's tough going in completely cold.
Well, it has to be just tough with so many different heroes to memorize. And I mean, we were talking about to Mole Trap a while ago, and just the wealth of knowledge that you have to be able to dispense is and the items alone. Oh my goodness! As a Dota player, that's got to be intense. Because what do? I mean, there's still like cluster madness in StarCraft when you have two death balls just slam into each other. What are you going to do other than go, oh, and see what happens?
Just yell and hope that whoever you said looks like is winning is going to...
Yeah, exactly. I hope you're right. But, for something like a Defense of the Ancients, oh my goodness, you have to be like, he's using this spell, because there's actually like that few things happening at once in that cluster ball. So rCraftGaming. So how do you get involved in it? So it's a free website that you're hosting tournaments through, and you're one of the casters for it.
Yes.
What do you do to get involved?
It's real easy. All you got to do is go to rCraftGaming.com. There's if you want to play, there's a link right on the page for sign up for this league, this day, whatever. And we try to make it really, really clear that we only accept signups an hour before the stream goes live, because if people sign up 2 days in advance, not likely to actually show up. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then they forget, and they're like, oh, so we do it an hour in advance. And even on the sign up sheet, we have a checkbox that says, I understand that if I'm not in the chat room after this time, it'll I'll be forfeited, and if I'm signing up before 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, or whatever that is. Yeah, that's 9 o'clock Eastern. That I won't, my sign up will be thrown up. But people have been a lot better about that, so they can just sign up. Be sure to sign up an hour in advance. If you want, we're looking for casters, but more specifically streamers right now. So people who have the capability to stream in preferably 720p. But we'll take 360 if we really need to, and people who can cast, preferably platinum or above.
360. Why don't you just live in a cave?
I know, right? It's like YouTube in 2004, whenever that first came out.
What would a streamer be doing for y'all? Just kind of piping it in?
Well, they could just stream, but if they can stream and cast, that would be,
Are you looking for someone to kind of fill airtime in between tournaments?
No, we mean just like for the tournaments itself.
Oh, for the tournament. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, just people who can cast the tournaments, and everyone's like, oh, I'll be a caster, that'll be fun, but they can't actually stream. That makes things difficult for us, because we're like, all right, well, we got to team them up with a streamer, and so we got to make sure that both these people are available for this day. So if they want to do that, there's a contact us link on the website, which is just rCraftGaming.com. And it's not like A-R-E craft, it's just the letter R. Because pretty much started in Reddit with that, which is like, r/StarCraft.
That was going to be one of my questions. Is there any affiliation with the StarCraft subreddit, or is it just completely random happenstance?
It used to be associated. I think we actually used to be called SC Reddit, and just over time, I don't know the exact time frame, kind of been removing ourselves from Reddit, but still are, we don't have any money prize pools, so the prizes are bragging rights and Reddit flair. If you
Gotcha.
if you ever see people like in the StarCraft subreddit and they have a blue or a red star next to their name, that means they got either a 7 or a 10 win streak in one of our tournaments.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're still kind of associated with Reddit. I think there's actually a link to our website in the sidebar there.
Nice.
But it's not like, none of us are Reddit mods and or anything like that. It's pretty much just that's where we base ourselves. But I've been kind of frustrated with Reddit in general, and to a slightly lesser extent the StarCraft subreddit, just because for reasons that I'm sure are clear to most people.
Yeah. I think we're all experiencing a bit of the StarCraft subreddit burnout.
Yeah, because like a couple months ago, there was actually a post that was, "Why aren't there more community-driven small tournaments?" And
Because Reddit doesn't promote it. It gets 0 upvotes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because we make a self-post every day that we get no karma for, and it gets 5 upvotes. Meanwhile, actually, let's just see. It's on the front page right now. Probably just like, oh yeah, there's a
there's like 4 things about state of the game. Please come back.
Happy birthday, chef.
Yeah, birthday posts. Incredibly important stuff.
Yeah, but if you use the event filter, we'll usually show up. But
Yeah.
it's everyone's like, oh, we want more small tournaments, but then we make our posts and people like some people even downvote it. Like 2 to 5 people.
Yeah, that's kind of my interest or issue with the StarCraft subreddit too. It just seems like independent StarCraft going-ons in general, that there are very little people involved with it that are interested in independent StarCraft stuff. Like I gave up posting links to our show a while ago just because it goes absolutely nowhere. They seem to only care about the executives and anything JP McDaniel does, which his stuff is great. I mean, frickin' wow, spacing out. Real Talk is one of my new favorite freaking shows. By no means am I shitting on JP McDaniel. I'm just saying that's all I ever see on Reddit is JP and the executives, which is also friggin' awesome.
Yeah, but then you also see all the. I like the whole tags thing they have now, so you can filter out the fluff. But you still, if you just go there and you do you need Reddit enhancement suite to actually use those? I don't
I think you do, because I know I needed to get rid of spoilers. I wish they would. That's another thing I wish they would do. I wish they would go the route like the Diablo subreddit has spoilers just blacked out, and you can only see it if you mouse over it. And I love that, because at work I don't have all of the Reddit modules installed, so it'd be kind of nice if I didn't have my GSL results spoiled to me by the damn subreddit.
Browsing Reddit at work, huh?
I have a computer. I'm browsing Reddit.
Yeah,
That's how you do it.
Yeah. I actually blocked Reddit in the router from my work just because when it wasn't, I just couldn't get any work done. So I'm like, I got to be responsible about this. So I said, I'm blocking I'm blocking that, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
As far as StarCraft, news and seeing what's going on in the community, I really prefer ESFI World nowadays. I really like their site for my StarCraft news, and of course Team Liquid.
Yeah, I actually like se2daily.com. Which I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's basically just a big info page, and it tracks who's streaming, and what it there's a different section for Twitters for pros or events, and then there's Team Liquid posts and video.
Hey, check this out. Yeah.
I really like that website.
It is delightfully simple. I like this.
Yeah, and you can click community, and then there'll be our StarCraft and Stack Exchange Battle.net forums. So that's where most of the fluff is, but all the actual news is still
Yeah,
there.
it's like the Matrix of StarCraft. Like everything's
Yeah, it's like
wow.
you're seeing everything at once,
Yeah,
and
this
you
is-
just understand.
Yeah, I'm digging this. This is cool. Oh yeah, I see one of our sponsors, SC2 Quote of the Day, is on there, and
Yep.
they pimped us. Yes, thank you, SC2 Quote of the Day.
Well, there you go. So you're already on a website, and now you know it exists.
Awesome. Gotta love that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So-
Very cool website. Good. Thanks for recommending that.
So Gaming is divided up into several nights. What ones are you in particular casting right now? According to this one, you're doing the Friday night bronze. Is this accurate? You said this needs to be changed.
The days are still there, but the days I'm casting, I don't know if those. Actually, let me bring that up. I don't actually know what days it says I'm casting because that's changed a little bit. But yeah, it's a little different. So I'm casting the on Sunday the Master and Grandmaster League. I'm also doing Diamond on Monday, and then I don't do anything in the week, and I do until Friday, and then I do the Bronze. So I do those 3 nights. The middle 3 nights are generally they change around a lot depending on who wants to do it. But I mean, like even I did gold yesterday because for the past I missed Monday and Sunday and Friday because I was visiting Oregon. And I was jonesing, so I hopped in for Wednesday. But yeah, we've got a couple of casters that switch off between those 3 days. We've got Alec, he's there, and his name's Kyle, also Kyle. But
Ooh,
yeah, so his
another
tag
Kyle.
name.
Is his
Words.
voice as beautiful and sultry?
there can only be one.
It's not as deep, but yeah, I think he's got a pretty beautiful sultry voice.
So
And
since since you do one for every league, is there infighting? Are you guys no? I've got Masters this week. Screw you.
Not usually. I kind of did that for Wednesday. I was like, hey guys, look, I really want to do Wednesday. You should let me do it. And I think Bearju Slava, he's another caster we have. Oh, and he wanted me to say that he is awesome, and ladies, he is single. So Bearju Slava, he's a pretty cool caster.
No
And
I'm
offense
not
to
sure
him,
this is the
but
demographic to advertise in.
yeah. First of all, this is
Probably not.
pretty much
Well-
a sausage fest.
I know there's at least one girl in the watching right now because my girlfriend's watching right now.
Oh well, hello, doctor's girlfriend.
Hopefully
Mrs.
she doesn't
Doctor.
care about the information.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't care about that information I just gave out because
She's like,
well, I
thank
think he lives
God.
in the East Coast anyway. But
His mechanical keyboard's been keeping me up. I'm out of here.
yeah, so we've got Alec, Bearju Slava, Ziconius. He fulfills our British caster. I don't remember what part from Britain he's in exactly, but
But is his hair as amazing as the Apollo's?
no one's is.
Okay, good. That's the correct answer.
No one
You
can achieve-
passed.
Yes, now we can be friends. Marshy and MMM Overkill are our 2. I don't know if they're our newest casters anymore, but they do switch off between platinum, silver, and gold, and those 2 are actually a casting Archon most of the time because Marshy's computer isn't great for streaming. But I haven't seen Overkill in a while, so I guess he's with school or something. And then we've got Turcoil, who can't stream because he lives in Australia, but he casts occasionally as well, and that's pretty much all of us. So they switch off between those 3 days, and I'm selfish, so I take 3 days to myself.
Well, it sounds
All right,
like you
so
have
you-
tenure, so.
Yeah, I'm just
So
like
you've been
I
forced to watch.
caster that was still there, so I get dibs. I get first dibs.
Good place
So
to
you've
be.
been forced to watch a lot of games, a lot of different leagues. What would you say classifies bronze, silver, gold? Is there something you just want to put your head through a wall because you're like, oh, if only they would do this one thing, they could just be silver, and then I could cast that instead.
Yes. Not that I look forward to casting silver particularly over bronze. Actually, bronze is one of my favorite nights to cast. Like, we've had casters in the past that are like, oh, I can't do bronze. It makes my head hurt so much. But I like it a lot because I get to see stuff that I haven't seen before, for better, for worse, mostly for worse. But it's, I don't have to be so serious. I don't have to, be all up to date on the 2-hour metagame that's going on. I can just sit back and watch some fun low level play. But from bronze to silver, everyone says it, but worker count, like that's really what it comes down to, is worker count and the knowledge of how many production facilities you can have in for how many mining bases you have.
Gotcha.
Like like they'll get maybe 10 SCVs on one mineral line, and then they'll have like 2 barracks, and it's like, yeah, I'm keeping my money down. This is what everyone tells me, is to spend my money, keep it low, don't float a lot of money. But the problem there is that they're not making a lot of money.
Right.
So they're still going to be pretty under macroed. So I always think it's a little bit misleading when people are like, yeah, just spend your money, keep your money low. That'll do it. It's got to be,
Well, we just assume by now they've been watching pros box their SCVs and assuming, hey, there's more than 10 there.
You would think, but it's overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
a lot of
Dozer was one of the biggest mistakes I made early on.
Yeah, and not a lot of bronze players do watch professional matches, but maybe they don't pay attention so much to the the little things in that. They're just watching to watch him play. Maybe they have it on in the background. They're not they're not watching the stream for to get some in-depth analysis going on, mostly because they don't particularly have those skills yet, because they're still bronze.
But Doctor, those were the exact same people who were commenting when you were casting and you were in bronze, saying, how dare you talk about StarCraft without being a Grandmasters and playing in the GSL.
That's true. That's pretty true, but it's okay to talk down when you're bronze and someone else that's not Grandmaster is doing it. But when you're bronze, it's just because you don't play enough, right? It's like, oh yeah, I'm bronze, but I got Masters potential micro and stuff like that. But
I'm Grandmaster at the job I work during the day.
Yeah, I have a job, so bronze. I'm just like, I have a job and I have school and I cast 5 hours, and platinum isn't the end all be all, but I like to think that's, given my circumstances, that's not the worst in the world. So
no, please, designer level.
Yeah. So to sum up, the bronze to silver is get a fully saturated mineral line and then spend your money. That's really all you have to do, and look up how many barracks you can have on one base, how many. You can't have more than one hatchery on a base. Well, you can, but it's this is
kind of Zerg easy mode. We don't really have to worry about production facilities.
Larva injection though, so there you go.
That's another one. Yep.
Yeah, Protoss. Maybe not more than 3 gates and 1 other thing for one base. Preferably be on 2 bases if you're going for 6 gates and a.
I hope SC2 quotes is in the chat room. 3 gates and 1 other thing.
3 gates and anything else. Pylon. No.
Do pylons count? Does a probe count?
Yeah, a probe counts as a build. No, your nexus counts. So just build gateways. You didn't even need a pylon.
Wonderful.
Silver to gold, knowing when to move out and when to counterattack. Those games are the ones where the TVTs tend to go on for 40 minutes because they don't know, they don't scout, so they don't know how big the enemy army is. They don't realize if they're ahead or behind in the unit count, because they don't have the luxury of bringing up the army supply tab like I do. So just that scouting information and knowing when to move out. Like if you aren't going to be producing anything else for a while and you're waiting for upgrades, but you just started the upgrades, but you got a pretty sizable army, maybe, don't push the main, but, maybe do a little drop or, go push their third or anything like that. Because if you sit in your, like an army, I say this pretty often when I'm casting, but an army sitting in your base is safe, but that's not what armies are for, like a bike in the garage is safe, but that's not what bikes are for. They're for going off sweet jumps and awesome snake decals.
It's for removing the skin off of Garrett's knee. That's what they are for.
That too. So, yeah, that's the main difference between silver and gold. And gold, it's at that point, it's start maybe focusing on a build and getting really good at it. Not a cheesy build. Like don't focus on getting really good at a 7-roach rush or a 4-gate. But
dude, I'm so good at 2 proxy barracks, it's ridiculous.
great at a 7-roach rush. I don't even lose if it's a Protoss I'm going up against, but I have to tell myself, like, no, I'm not going to do that unless I scout that they're going Forge First Fast Expand and haven't and went Nexus before Gateway. So, and even then, I still feel dirty doing it. So, just focus on a build, and that'll pretty much get you from Gold to Platinum, Platinum, Diamond, and Diamond to Masters. Basically, the main difference is how much you play and getting into the rhythm of things.
Yep, keeping up on what the trend of the week is and how to counter it.
Yeah.
So, well,
sweet. Well, you guys are actively looking for more casters, streamer combo sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
You said you guys lost some casters in the past. Did they go on to better things or busyness and life?
Most of them just disappeared into obscurity. They're just like, oh, you know what? I'm really busy. So see you later. See you later, rCraft. And just took off. And it seems like they all did it at once. So Mr. T wasn't, crazy about that because he's like, great, well, because rCraft was it got some pretty decent ad revenue and viewership in the past, but then pretty much after I like to call it the mass exodus, but of all the casters, and we took a hiatus for 2 to 3 months.
They boarded the white ship and sailed to the Undying Lands. That's what I like to say.
That's much better. I'm going to steal that from you. I might credit you.
And I would like to credit Tolkien.
Well, maybe I'll credit. No, I'm just gonna credit you. He's old. He's not gonna notice. He's dead. So whatever. But yeah. So that most of them just disappeared. I think one caster. This was before I was really with them. I think Mr. T has in the past told me that I think one caster went on to be not a huge caster for GSL or anything like that, but started doing other tournaments and stuff. But I don't have his name there, and it's pretty difficult to actually get a hold of Mr. T. Like, he's in a Skype call, but since he's really just an overseer and pretty much threw the keys to me once I started. Like, when I was in Gold, and I'm like, hey, Mr. T, I can cast again. I'd love to cast for you guys. He's like, all right, here's the keys to the website, the Twitter, the Twitch, all this.
And the A-Team van. Don't forget that.
Here's the A-Team van. Here's my axe. Just go for it. Just go for it.
I like that. You just exploded the rings with A-Team.
It's the same thing. Well, we're talking about, yeah. Oh, that's why you said A-Team, because his name is Mr. T. I just got that.
Oh, you're right at home on this program, sir.
And so you can just show you how I don't know, how spaced out I am and crazy it is to be here, because I listen to you guys all the time. I'm pretty much just trying to focus on not messing stuff up.
I've had this discussion many times. The first time I was ever on a show with Scott Johnson, who I listened to every day, I just sat there and stopped talking for a while because I thought I was just listening to another show. I'm like, oh crap, I'm on air.
Oh, he asked me a question. Crap, what was it?
Yes. Yeah. It wasn't a yes or no question, Garrett. Oops.
I cast to dozens of people several times a week, but doing this, you have about the same amount of viewers I normally have, but I'm just like, oh, I'm nervous. I listen to these guys. But what was right? So he just kind of. What was I saying? What was the question? Yeah, so he basically just threw the keys to me and was like, here, do it. So most of the stuff I just kind of had to figure out for myself, and I had a little bit from Reddit posts and some Google Docs, and just kind of figured stuff out, and it worked out pretty well. I think we're getting finally into the swing of things. We got a really cool website redesign because our old one was really, really ugly. But
yeah, I have to say, as a designer, you guys actually have a pretty banging website. I look at so many small community websites, and I'm just like, oh god, oh the font, oh. But yours, yours is pretty nice. Got a pretty sick logo too. I like that.
You should have seen our old one because it was hideous. It was, yeah, and it was so jumbled, and there was just links there were dead links all over the place, and it was horrible. But then, our main programmer K Rice, he's a really cool dude, and he didn't design the website. Mr. T got some really good website designer. I don't actually remember his name, but there's a monkey in it somewhere. to design it, and then K-Rice Mr. T put it together. And yeah, I think it's great. And our logo actually pretty soon, designed by the guy who designed the website, actually pretty soon is going to be on T-shirts. Pending my girlfriend, who is a de facto graphic designer right now. Well, is a professional artist, but she just has to make a vector of it, and then it's going off to T-shirts. And then you guys can wear rCraftGaming T-shirts, and
Awesome.
be awesome. I'll wear it all the time.
Gotta have those. Gotta have that vector conversion, man. Well, very
Yeah,
cool,
well,
man.
I mean, it's Jester in the chat room broke it down, and it seems like you are the reinvigoration of rCraftGaming. So it's awesome to have you on to announce this again. I mean, people are aware of it, but I mean, clearly you guys are ready. You want to get going again.
Yeah, and we've been going for months now, but exposure is just a huge problem right now because some people saw rCraftGaming go away, never really got the the word that we're back, and then a lot of people on Reddit are just kind of apathetic to us now. They're like, oh yeah, rCraftGaming, I'll play, but I'm not gonna watch on any other nights other than my own.
Yeah.
Like, just fine, they can watch whenever. I don't want to guilt people into watching. But
no, guilt them, sir. Guilt them.
you're all horrible people. Anyone with ad block should just be like punched right in the face.
I don't disagree with that.
I mean, I have ad block, but I have the courtesy to shut it off on Twitch domains. So
Awesome. Well, badass, dude. Well, we'll let you go. We know you have a exam or something coming up. So
an hour.
yeah. So, anyways, before you go, pimp everything you need to pimp. Where can people follow you? Where can people find rCraftGaming? And where can they sign up?
All right. Well, rcraftgaming.com is our site. There are links to all of our other social media goodies all over the place on that website. We've got a Twitter at rCraftGaming. We've got a YouTube that we've been working on, getting going to eventually have every game, as its own video on there. But our video splitters being silly, so that's not going yet. But subscribe anyway; it will work eventually. Twitch.tv/rCraftGaming. You can follow us, but I highly suggest watching the stream at rcraftgaming.com because then you get a little vote bar and you can vote for who you think is going to win in real time, and everyone can see that. So
Nice. That's a cool little built-in feature.
yeah, I think this guy's going to win, and all that stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at TGDoctor. Also twitch.tv/TGDoctor. I have a YouTube that I don't really have too much content on there. I think I have like one Let's Play of Octodad. It's not even of StarCraft, but it's youtube.com/TGDoctor665 because someone took TGDoctor, which is unforgivable.
How dare they?
Yep. Shout out to Alex Ziconius, Bearjuslava, Marshy, MMM Overkill, Turcoil, Infested Mr. T, Xerxes, and K-Rice, because they keep rCraft gaming rolling smoothly, like a well-oiled machine, or a moderately well-oiled machine, as well as can be expected for people who aren't being paid. And and they're all awesome for not getting paid. I'd like to pay them someday. Shout out to Jester98. That's her name on Twitch. That's my girlfriend. She's in the chat right now. Say hi to her. She's
Woo,
awesome.
StarCraft Widows are the best. I've got one of those
Widows.
too.
Yeah, because they never see us anymore.
Oh, I see.
But
Bury them and they'll shoot missiles.
yeah.
Because that's what mines do. Sorry, continue, Doctor.
That's pretty much it. Our shows every day except Saturday. 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is when they start. 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is when the signups open. You can convert that to your own time zone as you see fit. I know these guys are on the East Coast.
Indeed.
Shout out to Toronto, because that's the biggest city. That we get the most viewers from Toronto. So hi
Nice.
everyone in Toronto. And that's pretty much it. Thanks guys a lot for having me on the show, and I hope I can come back and tell you news someday.
Not a problem, man. Sounds great. And thanks for coming on. Good luck on your exam. And again, everyone, go check out rcraftgaming.com. We'll see you later, Doctor.
See you later.
Take care, man.
That was fun.
Sweet.
Now,
Oh man, look at that overlay. Just switching like that. That's beautiful.
oh yeah, I'm totally gonna have to redo this screen region though, so bear with me real quick.
Oh, you're breaking the fourth wall, man.
Oh, what a shame. What are you gonna do? What are you
Well,
gonna...
live show, don't go anywhere. You know, podcast audience gonna have some editing and whatnot, so this stuff doesn't matter to them.
Oh,
But
poo.
the live people, we got some show to do still.
Indeed, we do.
And some mega interesting stuff at that. Well, some community emails sent our way. Very excited to take a look at those.
Yep. And give me a moment, because everything is falling apart on me. I love this. Hey, while we're at it, XSplit, if you were listening, because I know you do, add a damn editing section so that I can edit another overlay while the call is live. Or while the stream is live, because that would only, make sense. I'll even pay more money for it. I just would really like that feature. All right. And now Kyle is now beautifully back where he was supposed to be. Welcome back, Kyle.
Thank you. I never left.
Well, let's get on with the show. Again, just go check out rCraftGaming.com, and big thanks to our guest for the day. What in the world? Just, oh my god.
What'd you do? What'd you click? Why
no,
am I Illidan?
Because that's apparently my wallpaper right now.
Oh.
And my computer just decided to explode.
I'm not prepared.
You are not prepared, and apparently neither am I. Anyways, real quick, before we move on with the rest of the show, I wanted to announce that we will have a new guest next week. We will have Harstem calling in from the Netherlands. We're really excited to have him, and he is from the Fnatic Academy. So make sure you tune in for that. That'll be episode 124 on October the 18th. I believe we're going to be pre-recording it. So, yeah. But we'll air it. Yeah, we'll air it live, and podcast audience, you won't even notice the difference. So, there is that. Let's move into the news from this week. Kyle, we got a Heart of the Swarm beta update number 5. It is here, and it is still confusing me as to what the hell's going on with the Widow Mine. So
there's a number of things like that. Of all the weeks that we've had this beta, this one has been the loudest, I think, from community feedback. Not just because of the brashness of the new Widow Mine.
I disagree. I think that's exactly why.
But also in other races, like a lot of people calling out for serious, heavy redesigns, particularly of the Protoss right now.
Yeah, indeed. There's a lot of whining going on. I wish,
but it goes beyond that. It's actually rather calculated. It's interesting because it's now constructive. We've had 5 of these updates now. People can see that Blizzard is listening, so people are giving feedback, and it's actually thought out. It's cool.
Are they clamoring for a Sentry buff, though?
Well, we'll get into that here.
Okay, because if they are, those people should be put in a cage.
That's Blizzard's idea, though. We'll get to that.
Should be put in a cage. Anyway, so the Heart of the Swarm beta update 5 is here. David Kim braced for the obvious backlash that was going to be going on by saying this. He said, as we mentioned last week, our main focus is redesigning the Widow Mine and replacing the Oracle's phase shield ability. We made quite a few changes to these units that we'll get into in the paragraphs below, but first we wanted to talk about a few Mothership Core changes. We heard your concerns regarding last week's changes and have made a few additional Mothership Core tuning passes to help make it a stronger defensive option while using Purify, but slightly weaker offensively. And these are all things we're going to be talking about here in just a second. Starting off with the Terran changes, the star of this week, and actually I believe the only Terran unit that got any change at all is the Widow Mine. Now, in the past, you've heard Kyle and I talk about the Widow Mine and how I'm just kind of like, it's useless. Why would anyone use this thing? 1 Zergling just nullifies the cost. Mm-hmm. And then I found out that you could turn off auto explosion, which did make it better, but still, like, I'd rather have siege tanks. So they said, okay, Garrett, it's not good enough for you? All right. How would you like a wildly overpowered Widow Mine? I said, sure. And that's what we got this week. I really don't... First off, Kyle, do you think this is going to stay past the next beta balance?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I can't even imagine how the Widow Mine in its current incarnation even scaled down in damage, scaled up in time, you can move this all sorts of ways. But the current incarnation and idea of the Widow Mine doesn't work. And also, you have Cloak. You have, like, permanent stealth. You got, DTs, observers. Protoss technology is their future. They're aliens. Okay, whatever. Terran are copying them. Maybe they, jack their crystal power cores and researched it and put it in a Banshee. It only lasts so long and other sorts of things like that. But giving them burrow, I think this week, that's my primary problem with Widow Mine.
Well,
it's burrow.
Wouldn't be a mine if it didn't burrow.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
We're getting into your RP issues again, though. Here, you're splitting hairs.
Well, but that's like saying now Zerg gets to warp in. I feel like it's an establishing part of Zerg that you burrow, that you are cloaked when not moving, and now that's not a suicide.
I disagree. The only time burrow really, there's a few exceptions, but the flagship of burrow is roaches because they move and infestors because they move. Widowmine does not move while burrowed.
Yes, but now you have swarm hosts, which are attacking while burrowed.
Okay, that's fine. But a mine, sir, is buried.
But it's attacking while burrowed now.
Which is what mines do.
Well, it's no longer a mine, though.
It's a space mine.
It's a turret now.
It's space mine.
In the future, mines will not detonate. Grenades will turn to your hands. I get it.
Yes, exactly.
I
don't know. That I can defend. That I can defend. I don't mind that from the Kyle Ferguson. Everything in my game must make sense in science fiction land. This is actually defendable in science fiction land. If you were to improve upon the idea of a mine, sir, how would you do that? You would make it recyclable, not be one use only, but you would still bury the shit out of it so no one sees it.
I think it's not so much an RP argument. Of course, I love those arguments, but I think it's more just the fundamental personalities of the races.
Well, it's not like every Terran unit got burrow. One unit that has the word mine in the title can bury itself.
Let's go on to the actual changes here.
Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, the Widow Mine has a new missile ability. It's called Unstable Payload, and what that does is an auto-cast ability, which means no micro. I'd love to hear Suppy's thought on this, which initiates once the Widow Mine is burrowed. It cannot be turned off unless the unit is unburrowed. This ability launches a missile at a target within 5 range and starts to rearm another missile. It does 160 damage to a single target with 40 splash damage, and the missile auto-acquires cloaked units. The missile auto-acquires temporary units also, hallucinations, infested Terran, and locusts, and it takes 40 seconds to rearm the missile. The cost is currently free.
Yes.
So, let's talk about that a little. First of all, it's very high damage.
Yes, it is extremely high damage, and you can still produce these 2 at a time. Yes,
you can. Now, granted, I believe
the burrow.
Yes, the build time has been. The build time has been increased. They now take 40 seconds to build. The burrow time, however, has not been changed at all. It's still 2 seconds, which, in my opinion, is too fast.
Yes, agreed. You can run into a base and burrow and be perfectly safe, as highlighted by some very fun, but frightening videos from pro players.
I was about to say, as highlighted by QXC versus Gosu User, where QXC had a bunch of Widow Mines. Gosu User's Zerg army caught them, all of them unburrowed, and I don't think he lost a single one, but Gosu User lost his entire army.
Yep, and then he runs into the main, getting poked by some queens and some spine crawlers.
Oh, then he waits for a roach run by, and all the roaches die as well.
Yep, there's also a wonderful video here in the show notes of Dragon making his discoveries of the Widow Mine. Basically, it's wonderful to watch his face as it slowly evolves into a large smile.
That is a cool one, yeah. He's like, it went into a kind of blind, like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yes, and you did hear right. They do auto-acquire certain units. This also means that you really can't target unstable payload. In fact, it auto-acquires larvae over drones,
which is a good thing.
Well, I think that's map dependent, which is scary because on some maps you always have your larva sitting at the bottom.
Oh, that is a good point. Yeah, with that 40 splash damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not going to matter. You're going to
and also because it has a limited range, you can then make choices as to what's in the range, so you can run farther back, so you do hit drones instead of hitting other things. And as
that's
you
pretty
said,
much only with drones, though, where you can pretty much know where they're going to be in the next 2 seconds. But with anything else, they're just going to move away.
Yeah, but
if they see you burrowing. Burrow.
I mean, you're absolutely right, though, about Suppy. I'd love to hear his thoughts on this. We know what his thoughts would be. Why can't I target this thing? It's boring, yes.
Yeah, exactly. You can't micro this thing. The only micro you can do is burrow, unburrow, and move it around. The actual attack you cannot micro, which I don't like that. There's no skill ceiling for this. It's just like a skill floor.
Yeah. A skill basin.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I do like this. I like where they're going with it. It's cool that they want to make it a usable unit. It has ridiculously high damage and splash damage.
I want to argue with you real quick about what you just said. It's cool that they want to make it a usable unit. I want everything that makes it to the live game to be usable.
True.
Yeah, okay. Move on.
Hydras, please.
Yes. Give me that damn upgrade before Hive Tech. Jesus.
Yeah. Give me a reason to make Hydras and then upgrade them later.
I by the way, I've been playing a little bit. I really want, and I'm not really making it work. I'm not amazing though. I really want like an all ground Zerg army to be viable, and what I'm thinking is like I want Ling, Swarm Host, Hydra for hitting air. That's what I like, but I don't think it's not really working.
Well, and the Ultralisk burrow is just so slow.
Yeah, that too. It's still. I mean, it's better than not having it.
Yeah, but if you're going up against a Protoss Death Ball and that always has detection, you burrow, you're half dead by the time you pop up.
Well, you're gonna have more than one damn Ultralisk.
Yeah, they're still big though. So anyway, that's a side point there. But yes, Widowmine. If they wanted to put it in the game exactly how it is, they'd have to do something weird like limit 3 for the entire game, and that's not what they're going for. So, well, let's see what happens. Who knows?
I honestly think just a nerf to the damage and maybe a 1 second longer burrow time would be sufficient. I mean, right now the problem is it's the obscenely high damage because there's already a massive time between volleys. We got 40 seconds between missile volleys.
But in a game where things love to stand together, having another splash damage unit for the Terran is just scary. And one that can hit air, no less. I mean, you already have Thors. You already have tanks. How much more splash damage do you need?
That's a good point. I don't disagree with that.
Zerg has Ultralisks, and that's it. And that's disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, and SC2 quote of the day, Seeker Missile. Don't forget Seeker Missile.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Granted, it's slower than dirt. But,
sure, and fungal
growth.
That's true.
And your glaives hit multiple targets.
Okay, well, that's not splash damage. That's bouncing.
Still multiple unit damage from a single attack.
True.
In a proximity setting. So technically you could say it's splash damage.
Yeah.
Because if your units are spread out, the glaive doesn't function like that.
All right, Banelings. Yep, there we go. Banelings. That's a big one.
Yeah, you're wrong.
True. I'm getting run over by the chat room here. But either way, my point stands that splash damage is extremely powerful in a strategy game.
Right, which is... I don't think they should necessarily get rid of the splash damage, but I would like some type of micro thing here. I mean, obviously, like we talked about this a little bit on This Week in Blizz, the auto-acquiring replenishable units like Infested Terran, Hallucinations, and Locust works in your opponent's favor. Because then they can use those free units to set off the 40-second timer and then move in and deal with the mines.
Yeah.
Which is why I kind of think maybe we're all freaking out just a hair too much, and we just haven't learned how to deal with this yet. The meta hasn't gotten there. We're like, okay, the mines are there. This is how I deal with them. Let's get a volley of locusts up. Okay, timer's down. Let's move in with an observer or a detector and kill this thing.
Yeah. What needs to happen in that situation then is they need to not be able to unburrow after they fire, because that's what's going to happen. That's exactly what you do with. That's exactly what you do with Swarm Host. So you're absolutely right. We're all complaining too early. It's going to get changed too early. We're not going to have time to see what actually is viable with these.
I mean, it wouldn't be... Of course, people are going to email and be like, it's the beta. Of course, it wouldn't be fun if we didn't talk about it in the heat of the moment. That's what's fun about this. So, of course, we're going to talk about it. So, and get the chat room's thoughts. And man, you got smacked down, Kyle.
I know.
All we have is Ultras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 8 people just like, what? What are you smoking? So, yeah.
But, I mean, man, Cleave, like, any hero, any video game where you have Cleave is just stupidly powerful.
I love Cleave, dude. I've been playing I'm playing WoW because the new expansion's out. Oh my god, Hammer of the Righteous, I love it. It is wonderful. My DPS is absurd. Moving on to some of the Protoss changes before everyone who hates WoW leaves this show. Just vacates it like a rat on a sinking ship. Real quick though, chat room SC2 quote of the day says, my complaint is that Zerg is the exact same as before in the first 12 minutes of the game.
Yep.
Fair enough.
So is Terran for the most part. Maybe not all the way to the 12-minute mark. I mean, Protoss, you got a big shiny mothership core.
Yep.
But it is disappointing for an expansion. I will completely agree. Yep. But it makes perfect sense. I mean, that is the time where everything has to be exactly mapped out.
Yep.
Otherwise, things get weird.
Indeed, they do. Let's talk about some of the Protoss changes. The Oracle's Phase Shield ability has been removed, and they now have a new ability called Void Siphon. What it does is basically the Oracle channels a beam, which is the Void Siphon, on an enemy structure that deals 3 damage and harvests 3 minerals every second until cancelled. And note is that this ability will not cause the opposing player to lose minerals. The range is 7. The damage and harvest effect ticks when you cast the ability and every sequential second following. And Void Siphon costs 50 energy to cast. It's just one cost, 50 energy. Doesn't matter how long or how short you spend using this ability. It will just last until cancelled. I don't think my opinion's changed on this much since we discussed it with Ben on Monday. I'd have to say I still find this very boring.
Yeah, I've heard my favorite comment about this is that it should just be its attack. Because these things are made of paper anyway. That's been changed a little bit, but for the most part, no one's going to be massing oracles to do 3 damage a second to all your buildings. I mean, granted, if they really wanted to, you could probably take a building out a minute.
Yeah, well, you know why they're not going to do. Blizzard so badly does not want this thing to be able to attack workers. The whole idea is to get creative with your economy harassment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's supposed to be unique and not part of the death ball. So, and I'm glad it's lost its phase shield ability because of that.
Also, can we just rename the Oracle Meowth? Because it attacks you and you get money.
Payday?
It basically gets payday. Can we just put it out there? All right.
Yeah, this is odd that they would give this to Protoss. I mean, this is kind of like the unsummoning ability in Warcraft 3. You could do that to your own buildings as undead to get some minerals back. So it's like an offensive version of that. People are going to know. You know, I'm sure they'll say our hive cluster is under attack or whatever your race may be. And you'll know this thing's sitting there picking away 3 minerals a second.
Yeah. Is it worth the risk of alerting them to the presence of your oracle to only lose your already made of paper thing?
Yeah.
Your glorified pinata of a unit.
Yeah. I mean, the mineral's cool. Ultimately, I still see the oracle as a stepping stone so you can slightly survive against cloaked units if you decide to go air first.
Yep.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
I don't think Blizzard knows right now.
Yeah, David Kim had this to say. He said the phase shield ability was great against fungal growth, but because it is used in such limited circumstances, it's not all that appealing in most games. As it stands, the Oracle is a harassment caster that only goes for the enemy mineral line, but we thought it would be fun to add a secondary harassment ability that's not aimed at the mineral line, which harasses opponents in a brand new way. The Oracle's new ability, Void Siphon, allows it to harvest minerals by attacking enemy structures, and we're hoping that this change will open the door for some new harassment options to complement those already in StarCraft 2. What do you think of just making the damage higher? Because right now 3 damage is pathetic. It's not really a threat, and getting 3 minerals back isn't all that phenomenal either.
What?
Even if it went up to 5, that's...
These are in-game seconds, so you're making some considerable money over a minute period.
But who's going to let the thing sit for a minute?
Exactly. And it's the same... If you really want to like draw an army or draw some units back somewhere, use Entomb and wait for that. That's actually going to get a response from an army.
Yeah. It's a weird unit.
It's confusing.
It's
This ability is...
It's so new. The unit, everything about this unit is just new to the game entirely. So I'm
and what's so strange is this was an ability at BlizzCon during the Heart of the Swarm test that a Corruptor had. Because there are times in the game where you will have a ton of Corruptors and nothing left to do with them.
I distinctly remember looking at you and both being like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Something to do with our Corruptors. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I beat the air army. I'm destroying a base. I might as well chew on some assimilators or something.
Chew. It's like this idea that this Corruptor's just kind of gnawing on an assimilator. That's funny. Yeah, man. That's all I don't know. I'm anxious to see what happens next week with number 6. Let's talk about the Mothership Core.
What's also interesting, don't know anyone has done the math on this yet, but I bet the health of a building equal to the amount of money spent on it does not equal out with this ability. You know, you got a Nexus with way more health than 400.
Yeah.
That's going to give much more minerals over the course of its period. So it's actually a pretty high number that you can make some money off this if you actually catch...
If that's the way you're looking at it, but if you're looking at it as how long am I actually going to be able to keep this thing on a building, I don't know, it seems low to me.
Well, let's say you take out an expansion. Let's say you take out a third or even a fourth. That'd be the best, example. A fourth, way out away, you take it out, you have some assimilator sitting there, maybe a pylon behind the mineral line. That's something you could just sit there and make money off of.
Yeah. What is going... I have to stop for a moment. What are people talking about in our chat room? They're like discussing the meaning of life. How did this happen?
Someone let loose that, man, guys, we live about 75 years in a 6 billion year story.
How did that come out of discussing how confused we are about the Widow Mine's new ability?
I don't know, man, because, it doesn't really matter when, we're all just leaves in the wind.
Thank you, Self-Destruct Penis. Thank you very much. It's definitely helping the conversation go somewhere it needs to go. Let's bring it back to Mothership Core, which, as we know, started all life anyway, so there's your answer. The unit's Purify ability has changed. When a player casts Purify on their Nexus, it grants the Nexus the ability to attack, no longer requiring the core to attach itself. A lot of people are quite happy about this. The Nexus weapon has a range of 13 and a damage of 20, and Purify now lasts for 60 seconds and still costs 100 energy. They also made it the unit itself, the core, a little smaller by 0.8, whatever that means.
Yeah.
The unit had its shield health lowered to 6130, and the unit now costs 2 supply.
Which, by reducing the scale, as we talked about last week, of it just being this like, like powerful punch in the face. Now with the smaller, the blast is smaller, and in fact, they've done some really good animation with like sparks and seeing the damage on this thing. Which in one of my PvPs I played this week, I took down a Mothership Core with a single stalker. So these things are still pretty darn weak.
A single stalker, really?
Yes. I mean, the guy did fly around. We didn't have like an all-out just you hit me in the face, I'll hit you in the face attack. But I took it down. It was, it was ridiculous. But yes, this thing has like lots of sparks. It looks easily damaged. It's finally looking like the health it has.
Yeah.
And it costs 2 supply.
And by the way, everyone, if you missed last week's episode 122, I highly recommend going and listening to it because Tumba was an awesome guest.
Oh, yes.
I've been getting so many compliments about last week's episode, and it had nothing to do with you or I, Kyle. It all had to do with Tumba screaming at the top of his lungs about how horrifying of a sound the Mothership Core makes when it shoots.
Yeah, he was a delight.
Yes.
So the Mothership Core is now 2 supply as well,
yes,
which is a huge deal. It's a decision now to get one. Mm-hmm. I mean, the cost already at 100 was pretty steep, but you could basically, have a comfortable base getting going, just sit there, not have to build any pylons or say, oh, do I really need this right now? Now some supply. I like it.
Yeah. I'm not against it. I have not got in and played around with it yet. Because as you know, I'm terrible with Protoss, but I do want to kind of get around and tool around with the new core abilities. It seems fun. Seems like a cool unit.
Now, there's also quite a bit of talk this week about just general Protoss buffs. And one of them actually was answered by Blizzard. The original post by It Who Speaks, a massive, massive post, just basically talking about what Protoss means. It made some really cool points about the lore of Protoss, that they're supposed to be in like a more scrappy mode, which is why they work the way they do. They defeated the Zerg and had all the power in the world, but nowadays, they're being pushed back to the brink of extinction. Now they got to be more scrappy, and these new units kind of make sense in that world. But I still think that Protoss should be about spending massive money for a massive thing. And like one of them.
One of them, okay.
Yeah. Like, instead of zealots, let's get those zealots from the campaign. The giant statues that shot Colossus lasers out of their eyeballs.
No.
No, but like you don't have a zealot. You have like a zealot. You don't have like 6 of them. You get 1, but he's awesome. That gives more personality to Protoss. So this guy goes on.
It makes them immediately lose to Zerglings. Okay, continue.
Sure. One of the things that was brought up, had been brought up for a while, is that Immortals should be a 1.5 tier unit, and that they should come from the gateway. That they should have upgrades, available at the robotics facility and other places. That Stalker should be changed up. Basically, rework the entire race. And Blizzard casually commented on this, that saying, we're working on the Sentry for y'all. And everyone flipped out. Because the way they said it made it sound like they were going to make force fields autocast or somehow easier to use. And that disgusted people, frankly. So, with a clarification of their very broad statement, they said that they're thinking about making hallucination a already on the Sentry ability. No upgrade needed, still costing as much energy as it does, but it would give a chance for less skilled players who aren't very good at using force fields to use something that they know will work, like a hallucination.
But what about high level?
Well, what about high level? I mean, they would use it for scouting.
They're not losing. It should be a choice. You're not losing energy. It's choice. Do I want more energy for my force fields, or do I want to get scouting off of the hallucination?
Yeah, that is the choice. It's not a free energy. It's just you don't have to upgrade it anymore. You don't have to spend.
Okay. When you said free, okay.
No, oh my goodness, no.
All right,
please.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Okay.
Okay, so it still costs energy.
Yes.
My issue with this now is you can get Sentry so early, so they're going to have really fast, really early air scouters.
True.
They already... No.
No?
No, this sucks. I hate this.
If the Widow Mine's going to be auto-targeting hallucinations, Protoss is kind of hurting for a free unit.
You already... obviously, it's not as early, but you already have the Observer. A flying scouting unit that is cloaked. What more do you need?
But that's the thing, is it would allow that skill gap to be breached, and it would solve the problem with the Widow Mine, or, one of the problems with the Widow Mine, particularly against in a TVP.
I don't know. I don't really care about helping the bronzers. I guess is where this comes from. It doesn't make the game more interesting.
Yeah, well, it's just an idea right now. I mean, probably tomorrow we'll find out if it is going to happen or not.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about this.
No?
I'm not thrilled about this at all.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, because a hallucination is too expensive anyway for the amount of energy it costs.
All right, well, nerf the cost. It shouldn't be available the second you get a Sentry out. I don't think that's right.
No, but that's the thing. It costs so much energy that if you have the skills to use force fields correctly, you're going to use them.
I don't know. I'm staying by my belief that this sucks. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, we could be talking about it more next week, so we'll see what happens.
Indeed, we'll have to see. So, Very, very cool. And that is all we have to say about that, because that's all the changes that were made. Be interested to see if that hallucination thing goes through or not.
Well, and what that would mean because now that means they'd have the right philosophy, though, according to Suppy, that they would be buffing other units instead of just nerfing the Widow Mine.
All right, fair enough. I mean, go nuts. I mean, I feel free in the beta to go crazy. I'll be curious to see what sticks.
Yeah.
And they're just changing things so wildly right now that I don't know. I'm definitely coming to it from too much of a Wings of Liberty beta experience perspective, where it didn't really it didn't seem like anything got wildly changed. This is like they're just throwing shit every week and seeing what sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. The problem with that is the same thing we talked about with the Widow Mine. It's the real strategies to defeat these things aren't going to be realized. And in fact, strategies for dealing with heavy swarm host play are really now just getting to be established and figured out. And that unit hasn't changed that much, so it's interesting.
Yeah. So, anyways, just a reminder, don't forget this upcoming weekend, the Asia WCS Finals are taking place. And they're happening in Shanghai. These are not the end-all be-all finals, but this will choose who from China is going to represent, and other parts of Asia, represent that region in the finals in November. Yes. So this will be the final qualifier. So go check that out. It'll be the 13th and the 14th. Oh, I can't wait for those finals, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to see that finally all come together.
Yeah.
And we're all going to have someone to root for.
Yeah. Do you already know who you're rooting for?
No.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Let's talk about some of the results from this week's esports tournaments. First of all, let's just jump right into it. The one that I know we're both so excited to talk about is the GSL Season 4 Codes Semifinals happened this week. Oh, nerd chills.
Yeah. Where do I even begin? Life.
We start right here. Rain versus MVP.
I'm starting with life.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about life.
I'm too excited.
Okay. He's a monster.
He is incredible.
He is a young, little, freaking scary, horrifying demon Zerg.
It's so refreshing to see a Zerg that plays like a Zerg.
Yeah, dude, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I've been playing a lot of Zerg lately, and I love his heavy ling style. I love it. It's so much fun to watch.
It's clearly not easy what he does, though. If you've listened to any interviews with him, he's like, well, I don't know, I'm just that good.
Dude, that guy, he has some stones. When he was morphing the Banelings and Tasha's Hellions spot it, he unmorphs him, runs away, and like 2 blocks back starts morphing him again, just like, he won't come. He just assumes I'm not going to do this because no one does this. Like, oh.
It's a great idea. It's one of those so simple things that you're like, well, yeah, I guess you can do that. Because so many people, I cancel my Banelings, I'm losing the game. Mm-hmm. No one ever runs back and then just makes them again.
You just stutter stepped backwards, remade them. And granted, a stutter step for a speedling is pretty far, but still.
Well, and at this level of the game where everything feels so shot down, no, you can't do that, I counter it. No, you can't get in, I counter it.
Yeah,
just being aggressive the entire game is just so refreshing.
The meta game is so juicy now. Everyone is just playing mind games with each other, and I love it.
Yeah, well, we saw that last week with Life versus MKP.
Oh, God.
He was getting in his head and, like, dancing.
Yep. Yeah, he made MKP look bad. It was kind of sad. And man, he shut Tasia down. I'm also really depressed. I was really hoping to see Tasia make it to the finals. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are quite happy to have been spared at TVT GSL finals. I kind of wanted to see that. Gotta say, I wouldn't have minded it. But,
Tasia's been representing like mad this season.
Yeah, he really has. It was really kind of sad to see him go out in a 3-0. But
damn, I mean, it was the same thing that happened to Marine King. The Terran metagame isn't ready for a player like Life.
Yep. It is not. Which is impressive, because Zerg overall, they kind of got knocked. They took it hard this season.
Well, geez, with just every game going straight to Broodlords. It's been a little rough as a big Zerg fan. I love Broodlords, but damn, man, let's see something else.
Yep. Yeah, so I know you're enjoying life. That's for damn sure. He's got a hell of a play style.
I do love life.
That being said, Rain versus MVP. This was definitely a lot closer. Didn't seem as Tasia. I mean, Tasia played really well, but he seemed to be behind every game fairly early on. And to compliment him, though, he stayed in those games way longer than he had any right to.
Yeah.
I don't know how he held on
Well
as
said.
long as he did and as strongly as he did. But let's talk about Rain versus MVP. Because, I mean, game one, Rain just kind of rocked MVP. I mean, it was kind of a no contest. I was like, oh, damn. Looks like the King's being dethroned. But then game two, MVP did what MVP does best. Tried to cheese, didn't work, transitioned perfectly, and just walked right over Rain. But then game three happened, and I was, again, kind of face-palming. MVP pulled his SCVs off his natural and went at Rain after he was already kind of behind, and it just nothing accomplished whatsoever. I mean, Rain had so many damn sentries, and eventually got that Colossus out and pushed it back. But my favorite was definitely game four. I think this is my favorite game of this entire semifinals. I mean, it's just this crazy freaking back and forth, so evenly matched. It was awesome. And the more impressive part is that this was the game where Rain feigned that Colossus tech. He made one Colossus, let MVP see it, and then just cut it. And MVP bought it. He started making Vikings like a madman, and he still won the game!
Wow. Did he land him?
Yes, he landed them.
Nice.
And then they all died, and he pulled back, and the game went
Of
on
course
for a
they
lot
did.
longer, but he ended up winning. Yeah, really impressive game, and just the series in general. I really recommend it, and if you only watch one, definitely go watch game four, because it was an epic game.
And we have MVP going to the finals again.
Again, yes, once.
Fifth time, I believe.
Yes. And you know, this time last year, he was in the finals, and we watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. He didn't win, but... So let's see if history repeats itself, because I gotta say, totally rooting for life. I would really like to see him win this.
Yep. I mean, Royal Rotor, first time in it. If he goes all the way, he'd be the first one ever in StarCraft 2.
Yep. God, he's so young. I would love to see him win this. It would be great.
His career's already set. I mean, the number of fans he's gotten with his play style.
I wouldn't say it's already set. I mean, there are people, don't forget Fruit Dealer.
Yeah, okay.
July Zerg. People like that. People do awesome and then just disappear completely. So, anyways, yeah, MVP versus life. Good luck. Cause I'm. It's a stupid question. You're obviously rooting for life.
Yes.
Who do you think will actually win, though? Do you think MVP will win over life, or vice versa?
I'm so excited to see these guys butt heads because it goes down to my basis of why the GSL is my favorite tournament, because these guys are going to have a week to get in each other's heads.
Yep.
And what MVP is going to come prepared with is like something we've never seen before, because life's been taking people out like we've never seen before. And life, who knows? He could wing it and just win by sheer talent alone. Or this is really his chance to see what he can do, with preparation.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how that, because they're obviously going to watch the living crap out of each other's games. I'm curious if MVP will start doing like heavy Hellion to combat Life's really Ling heavy build, and if Life will just not do that at all. I'm just so stoked to see the finals.
Yeah, or if they just completely skirt each other and get into these really bizarre games because they are so tight on their various builds that this could just be the weirdest final ever.
Yeah, it really could be. So there's MVP fans in the audience. I'm not by any means saying that like MVP is just, he's won so many. I'd like to see this young Zerg, take a GSL victory.
Yeah.
So.
But
Anyway,
with his medical record at the moment, it'd be great for him.
there's also he's dealing with some serious crap and he's playing amazing. So, but he's MVP. I mean, he's the game genie Terran. So. GSTL is also going on, the third season this year. And this past week we had StarTale versus MVP. Last week, if you remember, we talked about StarTale versus Prime and parting. holy crap, he 5-0'd Prime and just took the win for the team. Didn't do so well this week, as he did, against Prime, but, well, that was in the IPTL, not the GSTL. But we did talk about it nonetheless. I'm getting my team leagues mixed up. But yeah, he did take out Sniper and Dong Regu, which is no small feat. But Keen deserves a medal because he was the only Terran this week to take a game off of life and win this matchup for StarTale. What? Yes, Kyle?
I apologize. Is that coming through? Because my cat is screaming bloody murder.
No, it's not. I heard a very faint something in that pause, but other than that, no.
Man, he's sad about something.
He's sad that Parting beat DRG.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Because he knows you're such a DRG fan.
He watches me play video games, but I think he's just there for the clicker moving around the screen.
Did I ever tell you when I got Dexter the kitten that when I was playing StarCraft, he would sit in front of my monitor and paw at my mouse cursor?
Oh, yep, he does that.
Yeah, it's adorable. It's freaking cute. He doesn't do it anymore, and he's way too fat. I always have to just pick his fat ass up and take him off the desk. But yeah. So StarTale beats MVP in GSTL. It's looking to be another good season and some really good games. I'm anxious to see what happens as we near the finals, if we're going to have another epic GSTL finals. And then the IPTL, we had StarTale versus TSL. So more StarTale ownage. Parting just playing really strong again. He was almost as badass as he was last week this time. He took the first 4 games against TSL. He finally dropped it to Polt. But then Sound stepped up and knocked out Polt and won it for StarTale. So congrats to them. They're doing really well in team leagues. And then the OSL, Rain, he just got knocked out of the GSL, but he just secured himself a spot in the OSL Finals.
Nice.
So congrats to him. All that's left now is for MC to play DRG. This will be this upcoming Tuesday. And whoever wins that moves on to face Rain. So you never know, Kyle. Your boy DRG could be.
Here's hoping.
He could win the OSL.
And I don't even know if that would do it at this point. I don't know if it can bring back the old man that was.
He is so relentlessly positive. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll come back. His smile is too great not to return.
Hope so.
So, very, very cool. We've got some emails this week, and if you'd like to send us an email, please write us at starcastshow@gmail.com. We'll read them here on the show and respond to them in kind. First up, James from Australia writes in and he says, "Hey, StarCast crew. After hearing what you said about the carrier needing something new in one of your latest episodes, I thought I'd write in about an idea I've had for a while now." Kyle loves these submissions.
Yes.
More than anything. This is like...
Send me... I mean, come on. This is the time for them. It's the beta. Blizzard's listening.
Get crazy. Yeah,
let's come up with some stuff.
Why not? He says, what if all carriers had the ability to kamikaze its entire store of interceptors into an enemy unit dealing mass splash damage similar to Brood War's Scourge? It would mean that during a direct engagement with a ton of clumped Corruptors/Vikings that the opposing player would have to use some time to actually split the forces up instead of just moving them into a battle, and the trade-off would be having 0 damage on your carrier till you rebuilt the interceptors. It would also mean that Protoss had an ability to deal with large clumps of bio when going air, as opposed to being forced to go either Colossi or Templar Storms. Yeah, because they're so bad against large clumps of bio.
Damn it, I only want to build one tech path in late game.
Yeah. And, resistantalism in this chat room makes a good point that Scourge didn't splash in Brood War. Anyways, he continues to say, if these reasons weren't enough already, just imagine the inevitable GSL moment when 5 carriers unload on an enemy army coming out of a mothership vortex. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on my idea and any tweaks you've come up with yourselves. Kyle, I'll let you go with your positive take on this.
Well, the interceptors, that's interesting because they do get themselves nice and busy over a group of units. Man, it get expensive, and that'd be kind of the cool thing about it. But I've always wondered this since the beginning. We saw back in the day, full-on graphical Blizzard movie of a carrier going suicidal straight into the Overmind. And now we know that they're piloted by none other than High Templars, or that particular one was piloted by Tassadar. So I think carriers should just be able to suicide straight up, power up, fly straight in.
All right,
Turn
that's
to the ball of energy and slam.
all right, sir.
Overmind dead.
I will allow that if I can take a Viking, fly it into the bridge of the carrier, and the carrier crashes on top of the Protoss army, dealing splash damage onto them, a la the Super Star Destroyer in Return of the Jedi.
Only if it can scream, "Hello, boys, I'm back."
So you want Independence Day?
Yes.
No, you should be able to fly into the laser port of the mothership core.
Yeah, just fly
Right
right
before
up
it fires.
to it. But you gotta like hit delete or insert or whatever flips the camera, or you gotta zoom in so you can actually fly upward.
You know, that was on TV the other night, and I watched it. I haven't seen that movie since I was probably 13.
Oh man, welcome to Earth. Jeez.
I still love that movie, but it does not hold up as well as I thought it did.
No, I mean they did practical effects for the aliens, so they still look pretty decent. Man, that scene creeped me out when they were down in the lab when I was younger. I couldn't sleep.
Dude,
after
I had the biggest boner for Area 51 because of that movie, and because of the shooter arcade game.
Oh yeah, that was great. The second one wasn't quite as good, and you didn't have to reload by shooting off screen, which was dumb because that's the whole point.
Yeah, the second one sucked.
It's the whole point of one of those is to shoot off screen.
Yep, or one of my personal favorites, Time Crisis with the duck pedal. Did you ever play Time Crisis? Kyle, can you hear me?
Wait, are you playing that music?
No.
Was that you? Okay, did the stream hear that? Because I totally just had an advertisement for some video game, and I have no windows open.
What is wrong with you today, Kyle?
Oh, man.
Kyle's losing his mind.
Cat's dying. I'm hearing advertisements for games I don't own.
Yeah, point being, Time Crisis, greatest arcade shooter of all time.
Oh, that's what I missed. Yes, well, the simple addition of a foot pedal. StarCraft needs more foot pedals.
And heavy light guns, where the chamber actually moves backwards when you pull the trigger, was pretty
Oh,
badass,
yeah, that
too.
was great.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. God,
What was that one where you just shot people, and it was kind of lame?
Police
But
Academy
you know the one-
or something?
Oh, no, that was super lame because all you shot was targets. But no, the one where the guys would, like, you know, you'd have, like, a terrorist mine or oil field or something, and the guy would just pop up and it was a real dude.
I have no idea, dude.
A real film dude.
Oh, so was Area 51 was all that rotoscope stuff that they used in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, true. That was back in the day.
We've gotten so off topic, though, of James from Australia's email on the subject of kamikaze and carriers.
So you were gonna shoot this down.
I can't see this ever being viable, not even close. First of all, you have splash damage, you have storm, you have Colossus, and they're phenomenal. So yeah.
Carriers are really expensive. I mean, this email was prompted by my idea to change the carrier to have some sort of like lose targeting ability or fade, basically, from World of Warcraft. Needs something to get things off it if you're actually going to have this thing being a badass. So, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a capital ship. I mean,
yeah, ultimately, for a capital ship, a suicide unit doesn't make the most sense. We also saw in some Blizzard fan art, or not fan art, but actual Blizzard art, the carrier hanging out in space, and it has those, like, you know, little front things. It's docking bays, or I don't know, the interceptors fly out the side, so I guess nothing goes in the middle there. But anyway, there's like a giant crystal in there. And in some of the Blizzard art, they're like shooting space lasers down onto Earth, like Planet Cracker style.
Yeah, that's what they use to glass planets that are infested by Zerg.
Yeah, and that'd be awesome if the carrier kind of picked itself up and flipped horizontal, and then just started shooting a big-ass laser.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I'm not sure when we would ever see it used. And again, we're getting into the subject of splash damage is already covered by the Protoss. But yeah, it would be really freaking cool. I would not mind like Command and Conquer style orbital weapons. I think that'd be kind of cool.
It was so, man, I hated those things when I was playing Command and Conquer, and the computer would always get them way before I could. And there goes a mining base.
Yep. Something like that could be cool. But hey, while we're wishing on things that will probably never make it to the game and be incredibly hard to balance. So, anyways, we got another email this week from Andreas. He wrote in saying, responding to last week's discussion, I believe this was actually 2 weeks ago, of whether SC2 should be free to play. I just want to say that Garrett really hit the nail on the head with his 2 great points. Well, thank you. I'm not embellishing this, by the way. This is actually what he said.
I handpicked this email out of all the ones that said I was wrong.
Shit, you got me. Van Damme. The concept of skin in the game, if you pay for something, it's more likely that you'll want to take care of it and keep the experience positive. Number 2, the idea that Blizzard ought to make money from its work developing the game, and we're less likely to see new content if Blizzard has no financial incentive to provide it. He says, well said, sir. To the last point, I would add only this question for discussion. If there is no cost to buying the game license except for the campaign, how exactly is Blizzard supposed to monetize the game to provide sufficient revenue for further development? Having never played LoL, I don't know how they do it, but all I can think of is ad banners in my game client and ads running every time I hit the Find Match button. I suppose Raynor could be communicating on a SteelSeries headset for a little product placement revenue. I'd also like to briefly address the entire concept that Blizzard should make their product available for free. Like Garrett pointed out, is it really so great a burden to buy the game once up front? Is 2.5 years worth of game enjoyment really not worth $40 to $60? The team at Blizzard
for $10 according to Toys R Us this week.
Yeah, you can get it for $10 over on ToysRUs.com right now. Go do it if you do not have StarCraft 2. We have gotten emails from people before like, I don't play the game, but I like the show. Anyways. He says the team at Blizzard worked hard on StarCraft 2 for at least 7 years, if not longer. He said, I'm basing it on the time between Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne, and SC2. There's more time involved in that, I guarantee you. What right do we have to ask that they just deliver that work to us with no compensation? They made a great game, and they deserve to be paid for that product. Thank you for your time and continually great shows. Regards, Andreas. All right. Well, I can't say I don't agree with him because he's riffing off something I said. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind. What League of Legends does, they have skins and crap you can buy, right?
Yeah.
Are there heroes that are locked out if you don't buy them?
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with that so much, it's ridiculous.
But in a game like that, it doesn't matter. I mean, locking out units is just stupid in a strategy game. But in a hero-based game, where
all right, it's a different
everything's
thing.
independently balanced, yeah,
we're cutting hairs.
Yeah, it's really different.
All StarCraft could really do is make skins. You couldn't lock people out because the whole idea of StarCraft would crumble.
Well, then it would become some sort of monetizing their own esport, which it's been really nice that Blizzard's been very open to allowing people to stream and make content such as this about their video games. So something that would work along that line, I wouldn't vote for either.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. You are a big fan of Dota. Dota is free to play.
Yes. But the reward system is more in depth than getting a portrait every 500 wins. You actually have an experience bar that is moving with you. You do unlock as you play skins and hats and shirts and axes and stuff for your various characters, but it doesn't change the ultimate look of the character. So with my argument is still with Heart of the Swarm on the horizon, if we're all going to be making the step immediately up to Heart of the Swarm as soon as it's released, why not have the first step for free in a strategy game with so much barrier to entry in the first place? Particularly when a lot of people don't even know if they like the game before they play it.
Yeah.
They have the starter edition.
I was about to say.
That's something.
They've got the starter edition.
Where you can only play as Terran.
Yeah, that is a good point. I wish you could play as all 3 races, but only against AI.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hurting anyone to have only against AI play as all 3 races with everything unlocked.
Other than my middle school self who only did that so I could school all the AI when I was younger, but he doesn't have the money to spend on a $60 video game unless it's Christmas.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess if someone could show me a monetization plan for StarCraft that makes sense within the world of StarCraft, I might be less inclined to say, well, meh. But personally, I'd rather just pay $60 up front and have the whole damn game.
Yeah, the barrier to entry is probably the most interesting thought about it, but there's still dicks in it. I mean, you got to deal with them. It doesn't matter that someone bought them the game or they got the game for themselves. They're still jackasses.
No, that's because there's still a wall of anonymity. Blizzard tried to fix that with Real ID being your real name, but we saw how well that went.
Yeah, I still didn't have a problem with it because I was like, I'm just not going to give this to people I don't care about. This is a simple fix.
Yeah. Oh well, what you gonna do? Thank you for your email, though, Andreas. This is a very interesting subject to talk about because obviously free to play is quite the hot jam at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's even interesting to think, will there even be MMOs for pay in the future?
Yeah, and it's funny when you look at that. Like when you look at the landscape right now, you've got World of Warcraft, which is a successful, thriving pay-to-play MMO. You have Rift, which is pay-to-play, and then there's everything else.
Pretty much.
Which either started as pay and quickly went to free-to-play, or started free-to-play like Guild Wars 2, which is really impressive for a free-to-play game, I have to say. God, I cannot wait for them to finish their spectator mode that they've been talking about on Guild Wars 2. Because I would love an MMO to be watchable from a competitive standpoint.
Yeah.
So, hey, we'll have to see.
I think, well, Blizzard has a lot of improvements to make based on the game surrounding. I mean, the biggest one, of course, right now, as we talked about, is Dota 2, where you can watch games from inside the game. I mean, the game itself should be the hub for all the tournaments, and you should be able to buy tickets through Blizzard, and that's how they could monetize this.
That's a good point. But not everyone who's going to get the game is going to be in the esports.
Yeah, that's something too. But growing esports is the goal. I think that's why this is such a big topic. It's because people want people to play, so people watch the streams, so esports grows and makes money.
Yeah, but Blizzard also still cares about the people who buy it just to play the campaign. And there are a lot of people that do that.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to play the Heart of the Swarm campaign.
Dude, I cannot wait. And to be harshly honest, I currently am more excited for that than the multiplayer.
Well, yeah, it's the next stage in the story. And there'll be parts where I build a billion bazillion banelings and destroy people with them. And it's going to be glorious.
Yes, and jumping zerglings and all kinds of other crazy
stupid
stuff.
upgrades I'll never get, and ridiculous Nidus worms that are just awesome.
You know what I can't wait for, sir? The return of the campaign roundtable.
Yes, what a fun segment of the show that's been. I'm very excited to get that rolling again.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to just go mission by mission and tear that apart with special guests.
You know what? I wouldn't be upset, though, if Blizzard came out and said, sorry, we're delaying 5 months because we're going to completely rework this whole game.
I wouldn't mind either. I could live. Rings of Liberty is still very fun.
Yeah.
And
I'd still want the beta, though. I mean, that's all I play.
Yes, exactly. So, very, very cool. Anyways, live audience, it is time for the SC2 quote of the day trivia. It is returning from last week. If you remember, we asked 5. Count them 5 quote questions. You tell us who said the quote. You win yourself an SC2 quote of the day sticker. Are you ready, chat room? All right. We're going ahead. SC2 quotes is in the chat room. I kind of just want to start calling them quotes. Can we call them quotes?
Quoties?
Start calling them quotes. A while quotes appears. All right. The first quote. Tell me who said this, chat room. Forge, expand, or die trying. Forge, expand, or die trying. Kyle,
interestingly, this was said last year during December.
Very, very cool. Current TV wins. It was Naniwa. So congrats to Current TV.
If you go back to an exact year ago, that's basically when this took off, where Naniwa said it perfectly. Yep. That's all you do.
Yeah, exactly. The next quote, be safe. Always, always, always wear a cannon. Oh, let's see. Should we give a hint? All right, this is my hint. Always, always, always wear a cannon. And that's my worst British accent possible. Anyone? Anyone in the chat room? Who said that? Gotta love that chat room lag. Makes for great live radio.
The Weatherman.
The Weatherman?
Yeah.
Atunga got it right, even if he spelt it wrong. It was the Apollo. He wrote Dow Apollo, but we know
spelling doesn't count on my show.
We know what he meant. Okay, the next quote is, who said, when your opponent's attacked, defend. If he defends, expand. If he expands, attack.
Opponent attacks.
When your opponent attacks, defend. If he defends, expand. If he expands, attack. And it was Chicka Chucky Wally. He won that. It was Artosis, the Socrates of Pro StarCraft 2.
It does sound like a Day 9, sort of. I mean, if he's the Socrates, Day 9's what, the Plato?
Yeah, I could go with that. As long as he's not as long as he's not Freud, I'm happy.
Yeah, the Freudian.
Freaking hate Freud. All right, the fourth. This is the second to last quote. Only 1 click, 6 supply. Who said that? Only 1 click, 6 supply.
Oh man, this is a rough one.
Yeah. Let's see when the stream lag catches up. I need some Jeopardy music or something for this.
Yeah, I don't know, something bust out.
Yeah, it was not MC. It's easy, guys.
You made the website quote of the day.
Yeah, quote of the day saying it's easy. It was Goody. Congratulations,
Nice.
Runner Meep. All right, guys, this is the final quote of the night. Who said, "You can't play StarCraft with a clenched fish"? Yes, I said fish.
Defeat the mightiest player in the GSL with a heading.
Was that the Monarch?
What? No. That was Monty Python.
Sounded like the Monarch from Venture Brothers.
It kind of did have a monarchy tone to it.
No, sorry, Greyfire. Day 9 did not say you can't play StarCraft with a clenched fish. And Runner Meep wins a second sticker with the answer tasteless.
Well
Congrats,
done.
Runner Meep. Everyone who won, please email SC2 quote of the day. Oh, crap, what is his email? I didn't write it down. If you could back me up there, SC2 quotes, I'd appreciate it. Feedback at sc2quoteoftheday.com. Once again, that's feedback at sc2quoteoftheday.com. And we'll keep dishing these out as long as SC2 Quotes wants to keep giving us trivia questions. So to our podcast audience, this is kind of a live affair only. Unfortunately, it'd be kind of boring to do like a mail-in. Like how would we even choose? We get so many emails.
Oh, I know, but there's so many fun contests we could do, particularly during, this time of the year. November's coming up. Register to vote, everyone out there, but we could do
No, because I'm so sick of politics.
Dude, you live in Florida, man. Oh, thank goodness.
I'm ready to pull
I did an
out.
absentee ballot there, so my Florida vote can actually count somewhere rather than here in Chicago, where things are pretty decided.
Yes.
But if we had some sweet stuff to give out, I'd love to do a presidential debate of the races. What would be their slogans?
Man. I don't even know, man. That could be fun, though. Maybe we could do something.
We have nothing to give away.
We do have nothing to give away. Because Blizzard won't give us beta keys, damn it.
Yeah, sadly, we found out the system doesn't quite work like that yet.
Nope. Alas. What you gonna do?
We can give away our friends, though, when that happens. Maybe someday.
Our friend keys. Yeah, that's definitely very possible. So very, very cool. That brings us to the end of this week's episode of StarCast, though. Big thanks to our guest, Doctor. Go check out his website at rCraftGaming.com. If you haven't left us a 5-star review in the iTunes store and you are a podcast listener, please go and do so. We'd really appreciate it. It helps the show out a lot. It really freaking does. And it's free. So, help us out. StarCast is a production of A-Move TV. TheStarCast.com is the place to go for our forums, archives, our t-shirts, and more. You can catch us live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time over at Twitch TV /StarCast show. Check us out next week for our interview with Harstham of the Fnatic Academy. We'll be talking to him all the way from the Netherlands. So expect a possible, well, definitely pre-recorded interview on that, so the poor guy doesn't need to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You can email us at starcastshow@gmail.com. As you just heard, we do like hearing from you guys. We'll read those on air. And you can call us and leave us a message at 941-882-0281. We also take drunk calls. Just make sure they're funny. You can call us, or you can follow us on Twitter at the StarCast. You can follow me at Garrett Art. You can follow Kyle at Kyle Ferguson. And big thanks to our production crew, Octane Pro and Captain Newbing. Check out our other show, This Week in Blizz, over at thisweekinblizz.com or on iTunes if you enjoy Diablo, WoW, and StarCraft. We talk about all three over there because we're whores. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you guys. We like Blizzard games.
Yeah.
And we like talking about them. Kyle, when you're not just being a gushing Blizzard fanboy, unless it's your topic for the week on this show, where can people find you?
You can find me over at Biggest Fan Podcast, where we follow the path that's driving you mad. And this week, I'm not talking about Blizzard. I'm talking about, well, a little franchise that I have some, growing pains with. But Resident Evil, or Biohazard, for those of you not in America. We're going to be talking about that. The games, the movies, the 4 Netflix-only movies. Things get weird in the Resident Evil universe, and we're going to dive into it.
Things don't get weird, sir. Things get bad, awful, unplayable, unwatchable, and nausea-inducing.
Yep. Third person, firing a gun, works every time.
There's so many games where I think this doesn't need to be remade, this doesn't need to end and be rebooted. Resident Evil's the exact opposite. They need to kill it, and they need to kill it dead, and they need to start over. Thought.
How about when something horrible happens to you, you stop getting involved in the company that did it? Stop being a cop. If zombies keep breaking out around you, you should just move away and do something else. You shouldn't agree to save the president's daughter. You shouldn't go looking for your old girlfriend. Just let it be dead. But I guess it is zombies. They keep getting back up. It's slow zombies, so it does have that going for it. It's not quick zombies. And then you have the mutations are always fun, particularly in the movies or the animated cartoons. So it'll be a fun episode. But I am super excited to announce the week after that we are doing Goosebumps.
Oh my
Goosebumps,
God.
the books, the TV show for Spooktacular October.
Are they still making those?
They were making Animorphs books up to like 6 years ago. So I don't know what R.L. Stein is up to these days.
Oh, Lord, Animorphs. I remember being very confused by that book series.
Man, I love that book series.
Oh, I wasn't a fan. But, hey, what are you going to do? Please check out our sponsors, Doghouse Systems and TweakedAudio.com. Doghouse Systems makes amazing gaming rigs. You really should go check them out. And Tweaked Audio makes some really great noise-reducing earbuds. They go inside the ear. They don't suck like the Apple ones. I really like mine. Anyway, our code for both of those sponsors is StarCast. You plug that in at doghousesystems.com. It gets you double memory for free and supports our show. And over at tweakedaudio.com, it gets you 30% off and free shipping on your entire order of earbuds from them. They've got multiple styles to choose from. I'm rather fond of the wood grain finish ones, which I'm kind of sad I didn't go with. I went with the black. I was like, oh well, it's not as hipster looking. But now I'm like, I kind of want the wood ones. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go place my own order with my own code, like some kind of weird self-masturbatory weirdo. But hey, what you gonna do?
Man, you guys are great in sales this week. Yeah, I know. Calling from your room full of earbuds.
Yep. Anyways, again, that's doghousesystems.com, tweakedaudio.com. I'm gonna spell that out real quick because it's TWEAKED audio.com. Someone wrote in and said, I love my earbuds. I would have got them sooner, but I thought it was tweetedaudio.com or something like that. He thought it was tweet, like to tweet from Twitter, but it's tweaked, like Tweak, the coffee character from South Park. So go check them out. We thank them for their support, and we'll see you guys next week with Hearthstone for episode 124 of StarCast.
Take care.
And that's a show.
Sweet. We still live?
We are still live. We
Awesome.
can continue our discussion about trying to break ourselves of the word gay. Your love of, or somebody's love of women with short hair.
That was mine.
That was you. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I enjoy nice, like, long flowing locks, but like, it's got to keep together. The second it starts to 80s main at the least, I start getting upset.
Gotcha. All right. Something I didn't want to talk about on the show for obvious reasons, but just out of mere curiosity, because it's something I'm on such a weird fence about. Did you vote? Do you vote?
I do vote. I did vote. I sent my absentee ballot this morning, actually.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I don't.
And it was in the state of Florida.
See, I don't think I'm gonna vote.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And the problem with informing people to vote is ultimately you want them to vote for the guy you like.
Yeah.
So
yeah. See, thank you for saying that. That's fine, because like I'm getting so much shit at work from the older folks that I work with. They're like, "Oh, if you can't vote, then you can't complain." I was like, I disagree. If I don't vote, I can bitch about whoever wins.
yeah, and